Viewers, I am going to expose Congress party's desperate attempts to spin lies for votes. You've seen the kind of protest that they've done in the name of LPG. You're aware of the big drama surrounding LPG shortages. Rahul Gandhi has been leading it. He's been out there slamming the Modi government left and right. He claims there's a massive shortage of LPG in the country, painting a picture of chaos, suffering under the BJP. He says families are struggling, kitchens are going cold, and it's all the fault of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But the Congress is stripped, so to say, to fool the people, stands exposed. Viewers, the mask has slipped, and how? Right from within the Congress ranks. Yes, someone from within their ranks has come out with a bombshell that will demolish this entire propaganda. Uttam Kumar Reddy, mark this name. He's the irrigation minister in Telangana. And let me remind you, Telangana is ruled by the Congress party. And Uttam Kumar Reddy is Rahul Gandhi's, one of Rahul Gandhi's very own. He has come out and said there is no shortage of LPG supplies. Let me say that again. The Telangana minister is on record to say there is no shortage of LPG supplies. He made this statement openly, and this shatters the narrative that the Congress party has been pushing. Rahul Gandhi rants about a crisis, but his own minister says everything is fine. Viewers, this is a full-blown expose of how the Congress is misleading people. They create fake drama over oil and gas and do all of this to score cheap points before elections, or who knows why. And this could not have come at a worse time for the Congress party, because the BJP is daring Rahul Gandhi for a debate on the very issue of fuel policies. They have dug up the 1974 fuel policy report. It's a document from the Congress era, viewers, and the BJP has laid bare how the Congress ignored every single suggestion in it. This report was meant to guide India's energy future, to make us self-reliant in oil and gas. But what did the Congress do? They overlooked it completely, or that's the charge by the BJP MP. Nishikant Dubey has been leading the charge here, using this report to question the Congress's entire legacy on fuel policy. Viewers, we've seen this in the past. We are seeing it again. Congress keeps peddling lies. They twist facts, create false narratives about shortages, and try to paint Prime Minister Modi as the villain. Now, before we go any further, I want to play out what Rahul Gandhi has been saying over the last few days. In fact, he made 3 comments in Parliament complex yesterday. Let's first play out what Rahul Gandhi has said.
Gas is going to be a problem, petrol is going to be a problem, all fuel is going to be a problem, because essentially our energy security has been compromised.
You saw yesterday the Prime Minister's chair खाली पड़ी थी, अंदर नहीं पा रहे हैं, तो देश को कह रहे पैनिक मत करो, अपने आप पैनिक हैं।
1974 में आर वेंकट रमन जो इस देश के राष्ट्रपति बने, 1970 से लेकर 74 तक की रिपोर्ट तैयार की गई। इस रिपोर्ट में कहा गया कि न्यूक्लियर फैसिलिटी डेवलप होनी चाहिए। इस रिपोर्ट में कहा गया कि रेलवे का इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन होना चाहिए। इस रिपोर्ट में कहा गया कि कोल गैसिफिकेशन होना चाहिए। इस रिपोर्ट में कहा गया कि हाइडल पावर जो है वो बढ़ना चाहिए। रिपोर्ट में है। कांग्रेस को मैं चैलेंज करता हूं, राहुल गांधी को, कि 40 साल में 1974 से लेके 2014 तक इसमें से कौन सी चीजें इंप्लीमेंट की तुमने?
जो पीढ़ी अपने बुजुर्गों को गाली देती है, दरअसल वो पीढ़ी जो है ना वो नालायक होती है। तो आप 40 साल में कांग्रेस ने क्या किया ये छोड़िए, दुबे जी ये बताइए कि पिछले 12-13 साल में आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने क्या किया है। इजराइल में जाके मेडल पहन रहे थे, और आज जब गैस की किल्लत हुई है तो आपको कांग्रेस याद आ रही है। ये देश को गुमराह करना बंद करिए निशिकांत जी।
मैं समझता हूँ निशिकांत दुबे जी रूमर मॉन्गर है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी और मोदी जी के वो राजनीतिक शिखंडी हैं कि किस प्रकार उनको अपनी जिम्मेदारी से भागते हैं तो इस प्रकार की वो बातें लाते हैं। मैं समझता हूँ निशिकांत दुबे जी को सारी चीजें देख लेनी चाहिए, चाहे वो न्यूक्लियर की बातें हो, चाहे पवन एनर्जी की बातें हो, कैसे हम लोगों ने कैसे विद्युतीकरण किया, चाहे इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन किया, इसका रेलवे के बारे, तो वो तो मैंने कहा व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रोडक्ट भी हैं और वो जानबूझ के वो इस प्रकार के डाइवर्ट करते हैं चीजों को।
Let's open this up. Shehzad Poonawala, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Tushar Gupta, Tehseen Poonawala, Nikhil Jain, Professor Monojit Mondal, IP Singh, national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Karan Verma completes the panel. Tehseen, what would you like to answer first, on 1974 or 2026, the comment made by your minister? You choose.
You choose. Today I give you, Pranesh. You choose. Because both I'm going to hit out of the park for a sixer. So you choose which one.
Okay.
Both are full tosses.
Let's start with your minister then.
Kumar Reddy ji is absolutely correct. He is accurate. It is under the leadership and vision of Rahul Gandhi ji and Chief Minister Revan Reddy and Uttam Kumar Reddy that they have been raiding every places where people tried to hoard, which is not happening in other states. Perhaps this is I'm caveat. Maybe BJP people would want to benefit. IP Singh ji is here. They remember my dear friend from the TMC is here, Professor Saab. You remember these people were also coffin walas. So it must be them who must be doing it. But more importantly,
no, 1 minute. I will tell our viewers what is more important. 1 minute. You've hit it out of the park. Problem ये है वहां पे भी fielder रखे हुए थे, and they have caught the Congress's lies. You see, this is what happens when you're too clever. 1 minute. Now you said that the Congress government has been conducting raids, right? You said it, Tehseen. Right? Total. So there is no shortage. There is a hoarding problem. But Congress leaders, including Rahul Gandhi, has been. Nikhil, 1 minute. Calm down. ऐसे क्यों कर रहे हैं आप? Why are you doing like this? Umpire हैं आप? This is between Tehseen and the anchor. 1 minute. Tehseen, you are saying, hoarding is happening and the Congress government in Telangana, according to you, has been able to crack down. So there is no shortage, right? Why is Rahul Gandhi and Congress leaders making it as if this is about shortage, that this is compromised by the Modi government? Why? Only one of this can be true.
Again, there is shortage because of the inefficiency. We know Strait of Hormuz, 80% of the LPG comes. The blockage in 10 days, Hardeep Puri ji and his ministry is doing nothing. That is why there is shortage, which will fall in 24 days.
But your minister is saying there is no shortage.
Was doing nothing for 10 days. It is only when Rahul Gandhi ji raised his voice to wake up.
Now to defend Rahul Gandhi, you've thrown your minister under the bus. You see, but Tehseen, this is first you boast about your own government's efficiency, etc. 1 minute. Either the government is so efficient that it is tracking down on hoarders, or there is no shortage. Pick one.
Okay, again, let me explain. There's a shortage at the national level. The minister is referring to is Hardeep Puri ji because of his failure of his ministry. However, Congress and
what do you mean shortage at national level? 1 minute. LPG cylinders in Telangana are falling from the moon. Someone who's a Congress ally is delivering LPG cylinders directly. Where is this coming from?
Of course, it comes from the central allocation. But that there is no black marketing, therefore 24 days that stock will last.
I agree. So the problem is hoarding, not shortage.
24 days stock.
Shortage nahi hai, hoarding hai, Tehseen. You have not hit it out of the park. You will have to go out of the park because there is no logic in what you're saying. 1 minute. Nikhil, let me bring in Shehzad Poonawala. Then I am coming to you. आज थोड़ा change करेंगे format. Shehzad Poonawala, Rahul Gandhi says there is shortage of LPG. Congress leaders have been echoing that. One minister who's maybe, politically immature, or maybe he's speaking the truth, he says there is no shortage. Tehseen is praising the Congress state government.
No, there is a shortage, but a shortage of truth and facts in what Tehseen Poonawala and the Congress ecosystem is saying, and there is a whole lot of gas that is being supplied by the Congress, the gas of fakery. And let me expose Tehseen Poonawala and his ecosystems. Panic se profit. आपदा में राजनीतिक और कमर्शियल अवसर वाला प्रोग्राम. फर्स्टली तहसीन पूनावाला सेड भाजपा के लोग लगे हुए होंगे, अरे पैनिक क्रिएट कर रहा है आपका इकोसिस्टम और बेनिफिट भी कर रहा है आपका इकोसिस्टम. ये अब्दुल रहमान कौन है जिसके घर से 55 सिलेंडर निकले भाई? ये कौन है अब्दुल रहमान? समाजवादी पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता है, सामने आ चुकी है ये बात. पर आते हैं दूसरे मुद्दे पर. अगर इतनी लंबी लाइनें हैं और इतना ही शॉर्टेज है तो 2011 की फोटो क्यों इस्तेमाल की जा रही है कांग्रेस के ट्वीट में? नो आंसर अबाउट इट. Not just Uttam Kumar Reddy, even Pargat Singh, another MLA of Congress party in Punjab, has said that there is no shortage, don't create a panic. And you know how the panic is created? Let me give you two examples of how panic is created. Congress's official spokesperson, Supria Shrinate, has tweeted just today also that राम रसोई में, मतलब कि अयोध्या जी की राम रसोई में खाना बनना बंद हो चुका है. The fact of the matter is, and INS and many media people have gone there, and the caretaker, Mr. Pankaj, who's the kitchen caretaker, has said that यहां पर भरपूर खाना सबको मिल रहा है और अगर एसपी के सांसद की आस्था हो प्रभु श्री राम में तो उनको भी आमंत्रित करते हैं, वो खाना भी खाएं और यहां पर देख भी ले. ये दूसरा लाई इन्होंने परोसा. तीसरा लाई बात करते हैं जो कल तहसीन और मेरे साथ सामने हुआ और उसमें तुषार गुप्ता सहयोग से मेरे साथ थे उस डिबेट में. तुषार वॉज इन दैट डिबेट. Samajwadi Party official spokesperson Mr. Abbas Haider told us that he had ordered domestic cylinder, but he was not getting it for many days. I asked him that give me booking ID. He did not give. But when I found out from his supplier, from this person that he takes the delivery from, Indian Hazratganj, at that time it was told that he was seeking the cylinder on 11th March. He was saying on 11th March itself that bahut din ho gaye, and the cylinder had been delivered to him by 12th March. That means within 24 hours, Abbas Haider has got the cylinder. Tushar knows this. I have sent him the document. Here is the document that Abbas Haider got it within 24 hours.
That's
and
not enough.
Tell you,
24 hours is a long time. Why is the cylinder not reaching Congress workers in 30 minutes? Nikhil?
First of all, Pranesh, even if you catch, if you catch the ball outside the field, it is still a six. So I don't know what logic you were going with. And
We were
so far
not,
as the
1 minute,
shortage is
listen. Who said we were playing cricket?
I don't know, you were drawing that analogy.
Did
but
someone
let me
say
make
we
the
were playing
substantive-
cricket?
Very well. Let me make the substantive point now. If there is no shortage of LPG, then why has the government disallowed people from rebooking an LPG cylinder after 45 days when it concerns rural areas and after 25 days when it concerns urban areas? If there is no shortage of LPG cylinders, why are restaurants in Bangalore, Chennai, and Chandigarh and other places of the country shutting down? Why is the government putting caps on the flow of commercial LPG cylinders? Why has the government increased the price of domestic cylinders by 60 rupees and commercial cylinders by 115 rupees? See, Pranesh, nobody is saying that this entire shortage is because of Prime Minister Modi.
Where is the
Certainly
shortage?
not.
1 minute, my friend. Congress minister is saying there is no shortage. Tehseen has conceded that point. He says hoarding ka problem hai. Our government is so efficient that they have taken action against the hoarders. वो पहले वो सेल्फ गोल कर चुके हैं और वो सेल्फ गोल एक गेम से ज्यादा में होता है. Now, Nikhil, 1 minute. Think through what you're saying. Calm down first of all. Listen to what I'm saying. Is this minister lying or is Rahul Gandhi lying?
This minister is talking about his state. Perhaps there is no shortage of LPG
Where
in
is
Telangana.
the
So
is
far,
Telangana procuring LPG directly from some other country? ये क्या है? Union of States. What is going on in Telangana? Is Telangana a different country?
Shortage of LPG in one part of the country doesn't mean it has to exist in every part of the country. Just because Telangana may not
So
have a
in
shortage.
which part of the, has Rahul Gandhi specified that there is shortage in one part of the country? Which is this one part of the country? Which part? And has Rahul Gandhi said that there is no such problem in Telangana? Then you see, then the Modi government is so magnanimous that the Congress government is not facing any problem. Right? Will you say that? That here is a magnanimous central government that is not vindictive at all. It is ensuring supplies in a non-BJP state. Will you say that? You can't say that because it does not suit you politically. IP सिंह जी, आज सवाल सिर्फ एक है, आपको उसी पे बोलना है. अगर आप नहीं बोलेंगे सर तो मुझे फिर म्यूट करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? अब आपके अनुमति से मैं सवाल पूछता हूं. अब सवाल तो सुन लीजिए। राहुल गांधी झूठ बोल रहे हैं या तेलंगाना के मंत्री झूठ बोल रहे हैं, यह है सवाल।
ठीक है, उस सवाल का जवाब कांग्रेस ने दिया है, लेकिन आप ये बताइए कि देश में कितने अब्दुल हैं जिनके पास गैस की एजेंसियां हैं? आखिर पवन वर्मा जो बीजेपी का कार्यकर्ता था जिसे गिरफ्तार किया गया गोरखपुर में, वो ब्लैकमेल कर रहा था गैस, उसे सलाखों के पीछे भेजा गया, उस पर चर्चा क्यों नहीं होती?
करिए ना चर्चा। तो बीजेपी के कार्यकर्ता पे भी एक्शन हो रही है ना। ये एक्शन किसने लिया? अखिलेश सरकार ने लिया है कि बीजेपी सरकार ने लिया है? आप बताइए। उसको अरेस्ट किसने किया? आप जो बोल रहे हैं पवन वर्मा की गिरफ्तारी हुई है, इसको अरेस्ट किसने किया है? आईपी सिंह जी।
कुछ दिखाया गया उसको पूरे देश में?
आईपी सिंह जी, अगर या तो ये कह दीजिए
शॉर्टेज है या नहीं है। गेल के एक बड़े अधिकारी ने मुझसे स्वयं कहा, रिकॉर्डिंग उसकी है, उन्होंने कहा
चलाइए रिकॉर्डिंग, चलाइए रिकॉर्डिंग चला दीजिए आप। नहीं, आप रिकॉर्डिंग चला दीजिए।
मैं बिल्कुल चलाऊंगा। मैं उनकी नौकरी नहीं लेना चाहता, मैं पर्सनल आपको भेज दूंगा।
नहीं, मुझे मत भेजिए सर प्लीज। आपको अगर टीवी पे चलाना है तो भेज दीजिए, मुझे प्लीज मत भेजिएगा। ये सब ऐसे रिकॉर्डिंग मुझे मत भेजा कीजिए। अगर आपको चलाना है तो आप चला सकते हैं। और आप दूसरों का फोन क्यों रिकॉर्ड करते हैं बिना पूछे? पहले तो आप ये बताइए।
80% इंपोर्ट होता है।
आप बिना पूछे पहले फोन क्यों रिकॉर्ड करते हैं? पहले आप ये बताइए।
ये हमने नहीं रिकॉर्ड किया,
फिर
जो साथ में बैठे थे उन्होंने बातचीत को रिकॉर्ड
तो आप
किया
ऐसे लोगों के साथ उठते बैठते हैं?
मैं भेजूंगा आपको। सवाल यह है कि आधिकारिक रूप से उन्होंने बयान दिया। उन्होंने कहा मुझे कोई परवाह नहीं है, मेरे लखनऊ के वो इंजीनियर थे, यहां से पढ़े लिखे हैं।
आईपी सिंह सर, आप क्यों ऐसे करते हैं? सर, यू आर अ सीनियर मेंबर, व्हाई डू यू नो स्पीक सो इररिस्पॉन्सिबली? प्रोफेसर मंडल, is there LPG shortage in the country?
Of course. If there is no shortage, then the government of India, especially the Prime Minister, as demanded by the opposition MPs, let him say this on the floor of the Parliament. Today in Bengal, IIT Kharagpur, they have now gone back to those earlier era of wooden chulas. This has happened in Kharagpur IIT. Please check your fact. Why? This is Central Institute, mind you. And there are other institutes also in the country where now they have gone back to the primitive era of having this kind
now,
of
sir,
chula,
one
right?
minute. Now, one minute.
So this has happened.
1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Now, if you believe Tehseen Poonawala's logic, if there is no shortage in Telangana and if that is to the credit of the Congress government, who would you blame for shortage there in Bengal?
No, if there is no shortage, Mr. Pranesh, then why do you have this group of ministers led by Mr. Amit Shah?
Professor Mondal, I am not saying there is no shortage. But that shortage is not because of Epstein files. It is because of the war. Because the supplies are choked. But look at the irresponsible commentary by Rahul Gandhi and Congress party. That's all. I am not saying that everything is fine. But if Rahul Gandhi says something and then the minister counters, then the Congress will have to pick one. Shahzad, I'll come to you. Karan, what should one make of this?
So, Pranesh, let's understand this. Of course, there is a problem, but the question is, has the government reacted to it positively and proactively? You know, Tehseen just said that the government took a hell lot of time. I want to be specific here. How did this problem originate? Yes, we know about the Strait of Hormuz, but it's not just the Strait of Hormuz. The fact is, on the night of the 3rd March, Qatar's biggest plant for LPG, which is the Ras Laffan plant, was hit by an Iranian drone. Now, we get 30% of our LPG from Qatar. When Qatar declared a force majeure and said that we will not be sending out the LPG, of course there was bound to be a problem, but look how we acted. The next 2 days we declared an Essential Commodities Act, we enforced the Essential Commodities Act. Reliance India Limited made sure that its supplies in the Bay of Bengal, the D6 basin, they are diverted so that we can ramp up the production of natural gas. We've ramped up the production of natural gas by 25%. We immediately send out directives. So I want to know from Tehseen, how is Epstein files linked to all of this, as Rahul Gandhi said on the floor of the House? How is our diplomacy linked to it? How is our condemnation of Khomeini, condemnation or no condemnation linked to it? If an Iranian drone hits a Qatar plant, how is it linked to us? Did we act or did we not act? What else could we have possibly done? That is what I want to know from the opposition, rather than changing the goalpost. Nikhil has been changing the goalpost from the last 48 hours. Tehseen has been doing it. I want to know from them, where have we missed the bus? I would be all ears to know. If there is some hoarding going on, of course, that should be pointed out. But unfortunately, it's Congress and other people.
He's not changing the goalpost. He concedes to scoring a self-goal. Tushar?
Look, Pranesh, it's the same story all over again as we saw during the pandemic. They manufactured a hysteria around the availability of oxygen cylinders. And this was the Supreme Court that later found out in its, research and its evaluation that the Delhi government then had actually manufactured the entire hysteria around oxygen cylinders. And the opposition is now doing that with LNG and LPG. There is a supply side problem and the government is ramping up production. But on the demand side, the same opposition parties are wreaking havoc. They're creating panic. They, in fact, are acting as a catalyst in people going and asking for 2 instead of 1 cylinder. This is where the problem is. Tehseen says that Rahul Gandhi stands for India's interest. Rahul Gandhi's Congress in 2022 was advocating against buying Russian crude. The Congress was saying, face double-digit inflation, pass on the inflated cost to the consumer. So what if the crude prices are touching $120 a barrel? We won't buy Russian crude. This was the Congress for you. Their economic understanding has always been shallow. Today they are saying you should have sided with Iran and then there would have been no LPG, LNG problem. Okay. You tell me, Pranesh, are any vessels passing to the Hormuz for the last 10 days? No. It's not Indian vessel problem. It's a global vessel problem. You have the Chinese, the South Koreans, the Japanese, the South Asian economies, Europe, everyone suffering equally in respective capacities. In South Korea, the chip manufacturers are not getting the helium. In Indonesia, the pesticides are running out. It's a global problem. It's a global supply chain pandemic. But somehow the Congress thinks that this is a problem manufactured by the BJP. Now, when they talk about hoarding, who comes out as guilty? It's the Samajwadi Party Karyakarta.
Shehzad,
who could have imagined that?
Tehseen, you answer all these questions together. Shehzad also has a question for you.
See, let me explain concept. I have one remote control by which I can use the television. Okay. Now, supposing suddenly Tushar keeps telling me, तुम्हारा remote control खराब हो जाएगा, तुम्हारा control खराब हो जाएगा. Then I say, अरे खराब हो सकता है तो 10 ले लेता हूं मैं. But I go to the market and 10 are not available, 7 are available. Is that shortage or is that panic buying? शॉर्टेज नहीं है. डोमेस्टिक के लिए 100% अवेलेबल है. 55 लाख बैरल्स पर डे, 55 lakh cylinders per day are requested by the domestic consumers. Even today they can be fulfilled within 2.5 days. But people are demanding 75 lakh cylinders per day because people like Tehseen are deliberately using word shortage, and the same Tehseen ecosystem was the one used to say that COVID vaccine mat lagao, aap important ho jayenge, B team hai BJP ki, matlab Samajwadi Party and their ecosystem said it, and at that time also they tried to then become the sellers of the Pfizer vaccine. Today they want to again create a situation of panic in this country. Let me give you 2 or 3 points. There is a problem not of shortage but a prioritization that anybody will do when the supplies are coming from an area where you don't have full control. Qatar pe hamara full control nahi hai bhai. We don't control that. Even then we have diversified our sources. 1 million ton, for example, 1 million metric ton is coming from America at this point of time. And let me also quote to you the statement of the Irani ambassador to India. And I'm quoting what he has said. On safe passage to India, Iran's ambassador says, Mohammad Fatah Ali says, yes, we will give it to India because India is our friend. You will see it within 2 to 3 hours.
Let's play that out.
Iran and
we have that reaction. Let's play that out. Tehseen, I'm coming to you. This is the Iranian minister, ambassador to India. And he says this at a time when Congress is accusing the Modi government of sabotaging relations with Tehran. Listen to this.
Are you saying that India will get safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz?
What?
India will get safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes. You can see the future, and I think that after 2 or 3 hours.
But you said some good news in 1 to 3 days. You said something.
Yeah. Because we believe that. We believe that Iran and India are friends.
So you believe some good news?
We have common interest.
Did you hear that? Nikhil, now don't say that, you can't see the man because there are microphones all around, so you don't know who's speaking. This is the Iranian ambassador on record.
Very well. So first of all, Pranesh, I think your viewers will stand testament to it that it is not at all discernible what this man is saying, number one. Number two, if indeed he said that, very well, kudos to the government for that. But if he has not said that, let me remind your viewers that just yesterday, the entire ecosystem of the government was telling everybody that 28 ships of India have already gotten safe passage, only for the government itself to come and say, no, something like this has not happened.
Where did the government say? Where did the government say? Show me that press release. Where is this coming from?
I will show you the press release.
There is no press release to this effect. I'll tell you what was said, that there are 28 ships there. Only that, talks are underway to secure a safe passage. Just that in that order. There is no statement. If you have the statement, you can read it out. You have this habit of showing printouts, right? Bring those out. Come on.
I'm at somebody else's house. You know that. I don't have my printer today.
How would I know where you are? Nikhil? Are you okay?
Ganesh, let's not play ball here. Can we?
Look, there are 2 issues that I want to put, and I want to make a couple of clarifications. Number one, that there is a shortage that should take place in the next 18 to 20 days because of lack of planning. But some state governments like Telangana, because of the management and rates, have managed to avoid this shortage. That does not mean there isn't a shortage. There is a shortage with regards to commercial LPG at the moment, which has resulted in panic. That's the first part to it. Now the second part.
No, there's a problem with the first part. I will not allow you to go to the second part. You are saying there is a shortage as far as commercial LPG is concerned, right? But Rahul Gandhi is not making that distinction. He is saying poor people have no LPG. Tehseen, please.
I am here on your show. There have been things put. Allow me to put a perspective. You counter me. What happens is there's so much put. Everyone attacking me, and I've not had such a.
Who's attacking you? Come on.
Allow me to put. Now there's a second part. Look, I forgot the flow. Okay, now the second part to this. Yesterday, when our Prime Minister spoke to the Iranian President, I think, and I was on a Twitter space then, I was extremely happy because this is the right approach. On this very panel, Professor Saab and there was another SP spokesperson and I kept telling you that, look, the Prime Minister will have to reach out and then the Strait of Hormuz will be made an exception for India. And this is the opposition pressure.
Wow.
This is why we have always advocated.
Okay, so, 1 minute. If this is opposition pressure that the Prime Minister has spoken to the Iranian president, 1 minute, Tehseen, then is the Telangana minister under BJP pressure that is saying all this?
No. The Prime Minister has ceded to opposition advice.
When did the Prime Minister say, no, 1 minute, 1 minute. When has the Prime Minister said, or the government of India said, that we are not talking to Iran, we will not talk to them? Foreign Minister Jaishankar has been speaking to his counterpart.
No, he never said that. But the fact that our Prime Minister personally did not condemn the assassination of Ayatollah Saab was something that held Iranian thing. And now that the Prime Minister has reached out, we are so happy for the Prime Minister and for India. And the Prime Minister will now get it open. So it's good. This is what opposition does.
Now this is classic deflection. Now you're talking about the Prime Minister not answering that question. But Shehzad, the Congress pressured the government so much that the Prime Minister had to pick up the phone, speak to the Iranian president.
Why didn't they pressure the UPA government in 2005, 6 and 11 to not vote against Iran? Why didn't they pressure the UPA government at that time to ensure that they gave a statement for Gaddafi? And Gaddafi was a president. Khomeini was a civil, you may consider him to be a superior religious leader. Not everyone considers him. Like for us in Shias, Aga Khanis don't consider him. But he was not a sitting president. Gaddafi was a head of the state. What did you do? Saddam Hussein was hanged and you were saying George Bush se zyada acha hamara dost koi nahi hai. Oil for food coupon scam kar rahe the. And you are giving us gyan about maintaining relations. India has taken a side in this war, and that side is the side of India. Indian interests in Gulf, Indian interests in Iran, Indian interests as far as energy is concerned, Indian interests for maintaining global peace. We are on side of peace. We will tell all our friends, Israel and Iran, that maintain the peace in the entire world. We have the conviction. We can speak to both sides in any war or any situation. But now I want to ask Tehseen Poonawala, 18-20 days के बाद shortage होगा क्योंकि poor planning है. तो तहसीन 2013 में पेट्रोल पंप 8 PM को बंद करना, ये तो अच्छी प्लानिंग थी ना?
May I respond to that?
Of course, you are Tehseen.
Yeah, there was a suggestion. That suggestion was never implemented. It was
But why make suggestions like these, Tehseen?
A nuclear Iran is not in India's interest. I am proud of the Congress, that it voted against. It's the right thing to do against Iran. And I'm glad that my Prime Minister spoke after listening to opposition with the President of Iran. That was against Iran's nuclear assets. It was the right decision for the Congress.
I'll tell you, Congress party also believes that a nuclear India is not in India's interest because you are, in alliance with the left. The left wants India without nuclear weapons. Tehseen, ये ऐसे suggestions मत दिया कीजिए, please. 1 minute. Okay. Tushar is saying something.
Tehseen's hyperbole has just been exposed. He says a nuclear Iran is not in India's best interest. This entire war is being waged by the Americans and the Israelis because they want to shut down the Iranian nuclear program permanently. But the Congress says, why are you not siding with Iran? So Tehseen really needs to make up his mind. Point number 2. Nikhil Jain, you and I, only a month ago were debating that the Indian government has surrendered its sovereignty and we are not ever going to buy Russian oil again. In February, 20% of our crude came from Russia. The Congress's hypocrisy and their fear-mongering was proven incorrect once again. And today, Pranesh, on your show, I'm making a prophecy. In March, our Russian crude imports will go up to 40% and our LNG and LPG exports will also be diversified and we won't have any shortage in the next 18-20 days, as Tehseen claims.
I don't know about shortage because, I don't think there is shortage. Now, Telangana minister has said it. But, Tehseen, you want to quickly respond? Nikhil, I'm coming to you after this.
In August last year, President Trump told us, and I quote him, that we obliterated Iran's nuclear program when the B-52 came in and threw those huge tons. If that was done in August, how now is the nuclear program which President Trump said was back 30 years?
No,
that is the issue.
If the Congress does not back a nuclear Iran, did you celebrate that obliteration by Trump? Natalia, where is the statement?
I celebrate my India. I am friends with Israel and India and Iran. I am friends with both. I will talk to both. I will trade with both. I will buy arms from Israel and oil from Iran. और किसके बाप की हिम्मत नहीं मुझे रोकने में.
That's okay. That's okay. Don't bring in माँ बाप here. Are you friends with logic? Tehseen, you have to be friends with logic. Because what Rahul Gandhi is saying is devoid of logic. Okay. Logic's best friend is here, Nikhil Jain. Nikhil?
Pranesh, first of all, I would like to point out to your viewers, it's quite interesting that the BJP spokesperson can come and lie on the show without being asked for a proof. He just said that petrol pumps were asked to shut down at 8 PM in 2013. However, that was never the case and nobody asked him for proof until Tehseen fact-checked him. So far as the comment that I was making earlier, I've already sent you the link of that Rediff article where Randeep Jaiswal, the MEA Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson, categorically denied such reports, which by the way were earlier published on All India Radio. So this is how this government
1 minute. You made the point about 28 ships. Where is that point in the press release? 1 minute. Where is that point? And if you think Shehzad Poonawala is lying about 8 PM, read out the quote. Tehseen has conceded. It was a suggestion. Who are you fact checking? Which Poonawala? Tehseen or Shehzad? You can't fact check both on one question.
Shehzad said that the petrol pumps closed down. The petrol pump. The petroleum minister suggested it. The prime minister shot it down.
He's talking about the suggestion. He's talking about the suggestion. Tehseen has admitted it was a suggestion. You are saying it yourself. Nikhil, if you have nothing else to offer, then it's okay. You can sit and watch the debate from anybody's home that you are in.
point out the Epstein connection, since that's a very important question that you keep on raising about. What is the Epstein connection in all of this? I'll tell you what the Epstein connection in all of this is. First of all, Ayatollah Khomeini was the supreme leader of Iran, which is a constitutional post under Article 111 of the Iranian constitution. So let Shehzad or the BJP not tell you that he was not the president. Therefore, we are not going to pay condolences. Number one. Number two, when the president of Iran died in May last year, the Indian government declared mourning. So when the supreme leader of Iran is assassinated, the least you expect the Indian government to do is condemnation. Why did the condemnation not happen? Nobody knows. When in April last year,
the foreign secretary went, signed on the condolence register. Nikhil, 1 minute. Shehzad is saying something about the fact check you were talking about. Shehzad, you're accusing of lying. You're being accused of lying.
Yeah. Let it be on record. Let it be on record that these people lied about vaccines, they lied about Ram Rasoi being shut, they lied about the fact that they had a 2011 picture presented as 2026 picture. But here is the proposal, Times of India. Government was mulling to shut the petrol pumps, and that is what I said. This was your idea, brainwaves, that you wanted to shut the petrol pumps at 8 o'clock in order to control the crude oil shortage because you did not have any reserves, or you had not diversified, or you had not gone for the domestic alternatives like EVs or like going into electrification of railways, which we have done over the last 10 years, which is the report of 1974
okay,
of
Nikhil is saying
but
something.
Having said that,
Nikhil, he just read out, there was a suggestion, right?
Nobody is denying that. Tehseen has clarified that. I have agreed that what he said on your debate was that the UPA government shut down the petrol pumps, which they never did. The idea was mulled, it was rejected, and nothing ever came out of it.
1 minute. You'll have to change this household because this is not doing you any favor. Karan?
Yeah. Let me bust Nikhil's logic. I think Nikhil makes a gigantic self-goal when he goes back in the past, because they have a past that they should never probably speak about. Back in 2013, Shehzad rightly said that there was a suggestion, and that suggestion was actively contemplated. In fact, the standing committee was very critical of their policy, that in the 1974 fuel report, they were told that they should immediately pass an open acreage licensing policy, which means that the government should increase its capacity for exploration, which they never did. And in 2013, the standing committee admitted that we've made this big self-goal. In 40 years, we're sitting on it and we've done nothing. It was this government in 2017 that came up with the policy of the health policy, which is the hydrocarbon exploration and licensing policy. If not for this policy, and if this policy was implemented in the past, we would have never had a crisis the kind we are discussing today. Even today, there's not a crisis, there's a shortage. We would have never even had that shortage. This government, the Congress government back in the day, did nothing to increase our capacity, did nothing to increase our reserves, and we were staring at that crisis in 2013, where yes, the petrol pumps were facing a shortage.
Okay, let's now on the specific question of the 1974 fuel report, Tehseen and Nikhil, one after the other. Please, let's just keep it to this. Tehseen.
Karan, I have so much respect for you, but it is the strategic reserve, the ISRP, the Indian Strategic Reserve that was set up by visionary Prime Minister Manmohan Singh ji in 2004 when Atal ji had proposed it. And it was 2015 it came up.
2015, right?
But it was set up by who? Manmohan Singh ji.
Okay. Shehzad? Tushar, coming to you.
I want to ask two specific pointed questions. First of all, we are talking about the 1974 fuel policy report. Can Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla tell me that the biggest suggestion there was electrification of the entire rail network so that we divert from diesel? Prior to 2014, how many kilometers of railway electrification was done? And today, how much of the railway electrification is done, which has led to the saving of 600 crore liters of diesel? Now, second question for Tehseen Poonawalla. He said that हमने मनमोहन सिंह ने बना दिया, मतलब मनमोहन सिंह got the wrapping paper, पर गिफ्ट लाया मोदी ने, पर मनमोहन सिंह should take the credit. तो तहसीन पूनावाला जी और निखिल जैन जी, आप सोच के बताइए कि how much of ISPR, you're talking about strategic petroleum reserves, was there in terms of million metric liters per in the million metric tons prior to 2014 and today in 2014. Give me the number. I'll give you the current number. It is 5.33 million metric tons today. You tell me what it was prior to 2014. Give me the amount of crude oil that we had in those reserves at that point in 2040? Please tell me the number. And Tehseen Poonawalla, thirdly, I am telling you, Pranesh, ये तहसीन पूनावाला इसलिए शॉर्टेज बोल रहे हैं एलपीजी का, मुझे लगता है इन्होंने कमोडिटी मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट किया है. इनका चेकिंग होना चाहिए, ये कमोडिटी मार्केट में शायद कमाना चाहते पैसा.
Already I've taken पंगास with निर्मला सीतारमण जी, अब ये मेरे वहां रेड कराएंगे. बट देखो, मैं the most important thing that is obviously the electrification has been finished under this government. There's no doubting it for the railways. But now the comparison is so illogical. If I ask you in 1974 how many TV channels were there, there was one Doordarshan. Now there are a bouquet of channels. So you can't compare the
That
two.
is not
Yes,
the government's doing. Tehseen, are you okay? There was one Doordarshan then, there is one Doordarshan now. All others are private channels. Now 1 minute, come on. Tehseen, please. Well, I think Shahzad is right about commodities market, but you know, whatever it is, even if you make a windfall, it's going to the Poonawalla family. So, you know, Shahzad should be happy. As long as you make money, it's okay. That's okay because you're not making sense. So you better make money. Nikhil, will you answer that question?
Pranesh, it's wonderful that Shahzad has these beautiful figures from 1974, 2014, 2004. Please ask his government to give the figure of the exact amount of crude oil reserves right now, LPG reserves right now, the amount of orders that we are taking in, the amount of number of days of storage that we have, because in February, the government told us that we have 74 days worth of reserves. In March, the government told us that we have 25 days worth of reserves. International agencies that track these things say that we have 15 to 20 days of reserves. And 2 days after the government told us that we have 25 days of reserve, the government goes around and says, oh, there is a shortage of commercial LPG, which by the way is still LPG. I don't really know why the distinction is being made. But nonetheless, the government has issued orders and the government is saying कि गोबर उपलो से खाना बनाओ क्योंकि LPG नहीं है. Again, this is also an order. And so far as the earlier order with the MEA spokesperson declining that no free passage was given to us is concerned, I've already sent that to you. Before that, AIR had published
You are wrong there. No such promise was made. There was no such promise about 28 ships. Tushar?
Pranesh, just one thought I want to leave the viewers with, since everyone is talking about the 1970s. In the last 6 years, the Modi government has faced 4 oil shocks. And one can compare the price they were paying for petrol in 2020 with what they're paying in 2026. Compare this to America, where between 1970 and 1980, in 10 years, the price of gasoline went up by 2,000 times. That tells you a lot about the Modi management during these tough 6 years when you had 4 external oil shocks.
Nikhil.
In 2012, Tushar, it was $140 a barrel when we were getting petrol for 70 rupees, and the entire BJP ecosystem went around and said it should be 35 rupees. Even after this war situation, the prices of crude oil have not crossed $120 a barrel. Before Donald Trump started this illogical war, it was about $70 a barrel. Yet the government continues to give us half petrol for 100 rupees, not half petrol, 80% petrol, because 20% of it is blended with ethanol, which is damaging cars' engines. So don't please come around and say that the government is managing the fuel situation very well.
Quick response from Tushar. Karan, I'm coming to you.
Nikhil Jain is again lying. I'm talking about the management on the fiscal front, but he's comparing two very different things. But if he wants to brag about the UPA, let's not forget the oil bonds that the UPA left us to inherit, the younger generations of India, the future generations of India, the kind of mess they made with the oil bonds because they did not want to have the fiscal situation in control. So when Nikhil Jain wants to remind us about how great the days during the UPA were, let's remind ourselves who's paying for it. It's this generation.
Karan?
So, you know, the problem with my friend Nikhil is that he has completely stopped reading and writing, and that's a serious problem. Right now, the Press Information Bureau, he just asked how much of LPG is actually available. They've put that out actually. 189 mm SCMD, which is the million metric standard cubic meters. 189 is our requirement for the day, Pranesh. We were producing 97.5 out of that 189 till few days back. Now we are producing 122.5. We've ramped it up by close to 25%. There has been a shortage of 47.5 out of the 189. 2 cargoes are arriving from US and Nigeria as we speak. And we've diversified. So actually there should be no shortage. If there is no black marketing, no panic buying, there will be no shortage of it. So Nikhil, I think it's time you read and write and let's come together and not spread.
Nikhil has given up reading and writing. He is now into printing. Only printing. Professor Shahzad.
Just one line.
Okay.
Just one line. One
Okay,
line.
okay.
Very important. Just one thing. Please understand that unlike crude oil, you cannot have reserves of LPG. You cannot have that. You can have underground natural gas reserves. That's fine. That is prakrutik. But you cannot be storing these LPGs. It requires pressurized system or cryogenic temperatures, which most in the world don't have. And it's very dangerous to do that. So therefore, you have to live in this basis. But yes, Karan is right. We have ramped up our domestic LPG production, LNG production by 30% almost. And as far as crude is concerned, le dekar mota moti, we have 4,000 crore liters right now in our reserves. Now, Mr. Nikhil Jain, आप अपने समय पर SPR कितना था वो आंकड़ा बताइए जरा, बताइए एक बार. 2014 से पहले एसपीआर कितना था?
एलपीजी का स्टॉक पाइल होता है, एलपीजी का रिजर्व होता है, इंडिया का भी स्टैंडर्ड 50 to 30 डेज होता है. हाउ कैन यू कम ऑन टेलीविजन, बी द नेशनल स्पोक्सपर्सन ऑफ द रूलिंग पार्टी ऑफ द कंट्री एंड आउटराइटली लाई? देयर आर एलपीजी रिजर्व्स. इवन इंडिया हैज देम, मोस्ट कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड हैव देम. The magnitude of LPG reserves are not to the extent of crude oil reserves, but their LPG reserves do extend. And face farming yourself is not going to save you from the absolute lies that you're peddling on television. And if indeed what I'm saying is wrong, prove it. Prove it with the data and the authentication and the links and the authority sources that you ask of me.
Okay, Shahzad.
No, Pranesh, at this point, if he thinks that 28 ships were coming from the Strait of Hormuz and the government of India said that, if he believes that a 2011 pick can be passed off as a 2026 pick, if he believes that there was no order from the government of India that shut down petrol pumps at 2013, and if he believes that the safest way of storing LPG is to make a huge giant reserve and to keep it and store it, if that is Rahul Gandhi School of Science and Technology, what can I even say? Okay.
Okay, Professor Mondal, of what you've heard from the BJP spokesperson, you really believe that this is your panic, fear-mongering, or there's a real crisis here?
Look at this. Look at this picture. This is picture from Kharagpur IIT, right? One of the advanced institutes of technology. Look at what they are doing. I'm not saying that the picture will tell you. Look at this. Look at this picture. I hope you can see this picture. This is the way they are cooking now. I mean, what are we talking about? If these pictures are telling the truth, there is a problem. Now, why don't you acknowledge that there is a problem? And now the government has woken up. Maybe, Trump has given them permission tangentially or secretly to talk to Iranian president. But there is no condemnation of what America did with Khamenei. Not a single word of condemnation for all those brutal killing of 160 young girls.
Let's now talk about Ayatollah